Jesus exposes the Pharisees as human icebergs in our text for today, found in Matthew 23:25 through 28. It says, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside will also be clean. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of dead men's bones and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness." Looks were so important. They didn't value a high-paying job, a better car than their fellow Pharisee, the size of their house, or how well their kids did on the soccer team to give them a false sense of self-worth. Their pride was even more sinister because it came from an appearance of holiness, but made God sick. What lay below the surface was rotting, and they were in immediate danger of a spiritual shipwreck. Mark 7:15 and 20 say that nothing from outside of a man can make him unclean. Rather, it's what comes out of a man that makes him unclean. In other words, a good test of the 90% that lies below the surface is the 10% above it. Our true character is shown in times of adversity and how we react when the pressure is on. It's easy to live a holy life when we have no stress, feel great, and are not surrounded by those who bother us. But if you really want to see what you should work on, carefully note what comes to the surface when circumstances are at their worst. If you're hurrying to a career-making appointment, have a flat tire, spill coffee on your suit, and get behind a slow driver, what's your first reaction? How easy is it to turn control over to God? When you desperately need some quiet time and your neighbor who loves to talk about nothing but her needs comes to the door, how do you feel? If your kids are complaining and refusing to obey, how righteous is your discipline of them? Does it stem from anger or love and concern? When you are watching a movie you've waited so long to see, yet they're taking the Lord's name in vain, how easy is it to turn it off? God wants to work in you to develop your character so that the 90% below the surface will provide a strong support for the 10% that others see. We aren't alone in our generation in our famine for character. One young boy named Schicklgruber grew up in Europe over 100 years ago. At one time, he wanted to become a priest and later an artist, but found both ideas ridiculed by his father. He didn't come from a strong family, wasn't raised knowing right from wrong, so as he grew, he created his own belief system and moral code. After hearing his parents argue about moving away, he grew convinced they were going to do it without him. So wanting to shut himself away from the pain of abandonment, he left home himself and vowed never to allow anyone to ever get close enough to hurt him. Well, as all boys do, this one grew up to be a man, and the man was Adolf Hitler. History testifies that Hitler was indeed a powerful leader, but he wasn't a good one. Skill and charisma were there, but character was not. It's interesting to note Jesus' preparation compared to his ministry time. He spent 90% of his time on earth preparing his inward life for the 10% that made up his career. We, on the other hand, love to see results now and have a drive-through character mentality. One order of patience and love, no trials, please. But take heart. God, the expert and patient craftsman, delights in building your character.